Hey friends, welcome back to my channel Organized with Joy, and welcome to another Thoughtful Thursday video. In today's video, I am going to be talking about compassion and graciousness and being flexible with people when they've let you down. But before I get into it, I have to address the elephant in the room. At least it is for me, and I know watching this back, I'll probably be staring at my lips because yes, I am wearing red lipstick. I do not often wear bright lipstick. I used to own a tube of red lipstick a while back and I decluttered it because it was old. It really did need to be thrown away. I think I had it for 7 or 8 years, but I would see pictures of me wearing it, and typically I wear it on dates. I would see pictures of me wearing it and I was like, wow, I really like that and I miss it. And I was afraid I wouldn't be able to find the right color of red. I don't know. I think I like this red, but you'll have to let me know down in the comments what you think about the bright lipstick on me. I'm definitely not used to it. But getting into the topic for today, the reason I wanted to talk about this topic of being compassionate, gracious, maybe even patient with people, or understanding or being flexible with people is so important today, because I feel like we live in a society that is very fast-paced and also a very quick, you can quickly get what you want. We live in what used to be called a microwave society. I don't know if that term is still used anymore, but I know that people who grew up in the 50s and 60s would call my generation, who I grew up in the 80s and 90s, as, you know, a microwave society. Like, we want things fast, we want them now, we want them our way. And I think it's gotten even worse with the internet, and I just think about Amazon. Everything you want is just a click away, and how we want things now, we want things fast, and we want things our way. And I think it has actually made us less compassionate, less gracious, less understanding or flexible with people when situations go awry, when someone lets you down. And I think, you know, yes, of course, we can be disappointed when someone lets us down or, you know, doesn't follow through on something they say they would do. But I think it's really important to be compassionate and gracious with someone, and, you know, put yourself in their shoes and whatever they're going through in that moment, and why they had to back out, or why they couldn't follow through on what they said they would do. I definitely would consider myself a type A personality. I do like to have my ducks in a row. I like to know what's happening. I like to be ahead of schedule. I don't like uncertainty, and I don't like when things don't go the way they're supposed to go. So if I can change and have a different perspective on life, I feel like anybody can. So I know one of the ways that I have really learned to embrace being flexible is through my children. And for those of you who are new here or just don't know this, I have 3 children, and they are mostly grown. I have a 24-year-old, a 20-year-old, and then my youngest is going to be turning 18 in the fall. So I have had many years of practice of being flexible with kids. I'm sure many of you with young kids can definitely relate to this. I know when my kids were young, I had to learn flexibility because young kids are unpredictable, but fast forward, and I would say teenagers are just as unpredictable. They often make plans last minute, and you just learn to go with the flow. And the same is true for young adult children. You just learn to go with the flow. They don't always communicate everything in a timely way, and that's okay. I think it has helped me to learn to be compassionate and understanding in a way that I otherwise couldn't have learned without having children. I think in today's culture, it's really easy to become self-focused. And I think when we're self-focused, that is when we are in danger of really taking things personally and getting frustrated when people let us down, or getting frustrated when people don't follow through. And it's when we are others focused, and whatever the situation might be, if we're others focused, then we're going to naturally be compassionate and understanding towards that person. I do want to address the idea of not being a doormat, or not just being codependent and giving in to people's whims. I think this is especially difficult for someone who is a people pleaser to balance. So I recognize that this is a balance for sure, but honestly, I personally feel like it's better for me to err on the side of compassion and graciousness. I do think it is important to mention that we do need to set boundaries, and we can't just give in to, every whim, or allow people to continually let us down and continually do things that are maybe manipulative, or just not thinking about us. I do think it's important to make sure you address if someone is repetitively letting you down or not following through on something they say they will do. I'm talking more so about, one-off situations. It could even be with a stranger. Somebody cuts you off in traffic. You could immediately get frustrated, or you could immediately think to yourself, you could be compassionate and think, well, what's going on in their life that they're in such a hurry, or they're not paying attention. So it's not necessarily the relationships or situations where it's a repetitive thing. And if it is, if it's something that is really bothering you, I would say for sure you need to have a discussion with that person and let them know how them letting you down, or how them not following through, is affecting you and affecting your relationship. Definitely if something needs to be hashed out and worked through. Oftentimes, if we just hold things in and just are resentful and angry about things, instead of talking it through with the person who has offended us, then it can really lead to fractured relationships. So if it is a situation where it's repetitive and you need to address it, then definitely address it with kindness and love. But for the most part, I think what I'm talking about is just one-off situations. The other reason why I wanted to address this issue is just being on social media or in the social media world. I've noticed a lot of just people who don't have a lot of compassion. I feel like in this generation of social media, and whether that's YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, all these things where you have a platform to share whatever you want to share, including your opinions. I think it can get really sticky, and people can get to the place where they're not even interacting with a real human being. It's more so interacting with someone that they are disconnected from, and they don't know that person as a holistic person. Instead, they view them as the opinion that they have. And so I think it's easy to just jump to conclusions and to not be gracious and flexible and patient with people. Instead, we get frustrated and jump to conclusions, and sometimes because of that, just spout things off, either in response to whatever they said, or maybe even just in response to what they're sharing. So I hope this is all making sense. I'm feeling like I'm not sure this is making sense, but basically it's just being gracious and compassionate with people, even when you don't know them well, even when you don't know their whole story. And that's part of it, recognizing you don't know their whole story. And so err on the side of grace and compassion. But if any of this resonated with you, I would love to hear from you down in the comments, your thoughts on what I've shared today. If you are not yet subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to consider subscribing, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.